Hello, my name is DSO-Wanderer, and today, before we get into anything magical or mystical, I need to knock down this pedestal to make sure that anybody new or anybody old coming into this simply sees this and does not think I'm some saint. I'm not gifted. I'm not someone who has everything figured out. I'm not above anyone watching this. See, I've also made mistakes, I've also numbed out, I've also avoided things I should have faced. I'm also human. That means just like what I've done in the past, what I'm doing now, you too can do it too. There is nothing magical or mystical about what I'm going to tell you in this story. It's simply my human experience. And what you're seeing now, all this, is the result of me finally choosing me. It's taking responsibility for my discipline, my habits, and where I want to go in life and how I want to be perceived in my life. Because perception, for me, is everything. And I want to be perceived the way that I want to be perceived. That's not to be said that you can't see behind the curtains, you know? I don't care. I'm going to show you behind the curtains. But we're going to get a little forward, a little forward, so that way you guys know what's going on. When life gives you a bunch of lemons, but you don't get an how-to manual, like most of us don't, you end up squirting a lot of lemon juice in your own eyes and in the eyes of others, whether that just be random people, or whether that be people that you love. And then you're all just sitting there or standing there with a bunch of lemon juice in your eyes, wondering where the hell you even got the lemons in the first place. And my point is, I didn't know what I was holding. I didn't examine any of the labels that I carried, and I didn't question the habits that I had built. I just simply said, this is who I am, and that's that. I had given up on the parts of me that wanted better for me, that knew that I could have better for me. And the kind of twist, the kind of everything that kicked everything into place was and happened about a week ago. You could call it the dark night of the soul, or whatever you want to call it. But you have multiple, and one of the big ones for me was about a week ago. February 9th, 2026. This time, I decided I was going to stop smoking weed and tobacco, because those are my drugs of choice, and to cut completely back on gaming. I had to completely separate from gaming for a few days just to get it out, I had to stop running away from everything that I was running away from and start running towards everything that I wanted in my life. No fucking excuses. No fucking distractions. This wasn't some aha enlightenment moment that happened. I wasn't like, oh wow, I'm gonna do this one day. The reason this fucking happened was because my relationship was breaking. It was crumbling. It was falling apart. And it was happening all because we weren't doing anything about it. I could say it's simply because I wasn't doing anything about it. I'm taking full responsibility for my part. We were sleeping in separate beds. We were not talking at all. And anytime that we did talk, a lot of the times it turned into a bunch of friction, and we ended up just having to separate from one another. And we even ended up having real conversations about whether we should even be together or not. Very honest with ourselves. Now, I'll preface this video with the remaining of what I'm going to say with, this is just my side of the story. This has nothing to do with her side. This is how I perceived everything and from my point of view. Now, I realized that it wasn't about fixing the relationship. It was about fixing ourselves, or fixing me. Ooh. Now, what that meant for me was I had to stop numbing and start running towards myself and start facing myself. I realized that weed wasn't the villain. Gaming wasn't the villain. They were simply escape shoots that I would take when things got too much. These things aren't evil. I'm not evil. I just used them as distractions and I overstimulated with them so I could avoid disciplining myself. Oh, this isn't aha. You've been told this a million times. It's the action that pushes you forward. It's not these, oh, I figured it out. It's the day-to-day, step-by-step. And this isn't something new. Nobody watching this is like, oh, oh, whoa. This is just me telling me my side. Because when those coaches, when those people tell you that you gotta take action and you just gotta do these things, they're not fucking wrong. You know? And everyone tells you this, but it's not until you experience it yourself or you get to a certain point that you actually start doing it that you realize this isn't no lightning strike, this isn't a grand revelation, this isn't some big dramatic thing. It's super disappointing, it's super simple, and in fact, it's really fucking scary. Because when you decide to take life by the fucking balls and you take those lemons and you learn how to use the lemons step by step, you realize that the loud voices that distract you, all the cravings, go quiet. They start to disappear. And all the whispers, all the responsibilities that tell you that you can be better, that you know that you can be better, they start to turn into almost like ironclad law. It's something that you just do. You're just like, wow, I'm just moving with it. It's not peaceful, and it's sure as shit not comforting at all. It's very scary. But I knew that what I was doing, was alignment with my mind, my body, and my soul, and how to better prepare them for what I want in the future. Because I realized that I built a story. A very grandiose story within myself, that discipline was an impossible task for me. That chaos was something that I had to crave, that I had to be inside of, that I had to align with. But no, it wasn't. It wasn't at all. It was just a bunch of bullshit that I had taught myself. And I thought that I'd just been wired differently. Well, as you can see, I am wired differently, but instead of saying that I don't want to be that, I'm saying, hey, this is me, this is how I want to be perceived, this is how I show up for myself, because to me, this feels good. And I'm so sick and tired of thinking that I care about what other people think. I care a whole lot more about what I think about myself. And if I want to look like some freaking 1800s dude, dressed up in this garb, talking to technology and mixing technology and alchemy together, I'm fucking gonna do it. And people are gonna care one way or another, but I shouldn't let that input decide my output. This was my truth. I didn't have anything bigger than myself to anchor myself to. Once I came to that realization with my fiance, and I realized that we're trying to build something bigger than individually we can build separately, everything just clicked. I shifted from how do I get there to how do we get there, and how can I support us getting there. My mind stopped avoiding and started planning. My heart stopped blocking and it started blossoming. My attention went from being reactive to responsible, and I stopped feeding those impulses to started feeding the infrastructure that was going to get us there. Discipline stopped feeling like some form of rejection or restriction. It started feeling like alignment. And I stopped wearing all the chains and acting like they were some badge of honor. And now I'm destroying all of them and reforging them into wings so that way I can soar. So that way me, my fiance, and the future family that we'll have can all soar together. And so that way I can teach others how to alchemize them into wings, and then soar for yourself. How to appreciate those chains in the first place, because without those chains I would have never realized that I was locking myself down to the ground. Now, with all that said, with all that to be said, I know that I'm not going to fly overnight. I know this is going to be a process. And that is so amazing. Because I know where I'm headed. And I know that I'm going to fly. So, if you'd like to stick around to how I got here, how I even decided to do all this stuff, what tools in my tool belt I used to combat and to restructure everything, stay tuned, because the next video, we're going to be getting into the magical. We're getting mystical. Thank you for watching.